How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another Marvel Snap video. So today I have a Mr. Negative deck for you guys. Haven't played Mr. Negative in a while, but with the OTA, Professor X is actually a 5-1 now. It's not updated in Marvel Snap Zone yet, but he's a 5-1, so he slots into Mr. Negative really well. Now, before I go over the play lines, I want to stress this is by no means like a meta-defining deck. It's a fun deck. It's a deck where the ceiling is super high, and the plays that you can make are unbelievable when it works out, but the floor is unbelievably low, and those games do not feel good. I realize I'm not selling this deck very well, but I have had a blast playing with it all day today, ever since the Professor X nerf. So please try it out. If you're climbing to Infinite and you're trying to climb to Infinite, don't play it yet. Wait until you get there, or try it out in Conquest or something. It is a really fun deck, and it does leave some crazy plays. So let's go over the play lines. First up, you have Psylocke and Ravana. Normally in Mr. Negative decks, at least ones that have come up recently, you have Ravana and Zabu. Zabu is a little bit more persistent. You get to play Wong and Mr. Negative for cheap. However, with Professor X in the deck, sometimes you're going to want to play him on turn 4. Ravana lets you do that, but also Psylocke lets you do that. So if you play Psylocke on 3, you'll be able to play Professor X on turn 4 and try to lock down a lane. That's why she's in here instead of Zabu. You can try swapping out something else and playing Zabu as well, but I don't think there's enough 4-drops in this deck to justify that. So Psylocke works out pretty well. Next up, you have Ironheart that you can play. Sometimes I play her on turn 3 if I just need to play something, maybe just buff up the Ravana. You're generally not going to play her for 3 later on in the game. So if you don't get her flipped as a negative, you're just going to play her early. Obviously, your goal is to get Mr. Negative out by turn 3, so you can swap the power and the cost of all of your cards. If you can't play him on 3, he's still pretty good playing him on 4. And you have Jane Foster Thor. If you get a late Mr. Negative on turn 4, you can play Jane Foster on turn 5 and draw an extra 0 cost, which will be your Arnim Zola, your Null, your Iron Man, your Iron Heart, your Mystique. You can draw one of those and then hopefully another one, so it actually works out really well. You end up with 3 of them, hopefully. If you get Mr. Negative out on 4, you draw on 5, you draw on 6, and you get the extra draw with Jane Foster. So fantastic card in there. That's the main goal, Mr. Negative on 3, and then your winning conditions are going to change depending on what you get off of your Mr. Negative. That's one of the reasons why I really like this deck, is it's not just this is what you're doing turns 3 through 6, and if you can do that, you win. If you don't do that, you're going to retreat. There's a lot of different win conditions. I've won games obviously with Wong into Black Panther into Arnim Zola. You win games with Arnim Zoling something and getting your Null really big. I've played Null as a 0-6 and Zola the Null and got him at a 0-12. You can play Iron Man, copy it with Mystique, go really big in multiple lanes. I actually had a game where I got Mr. Negative off on turn 3, drew a Mystique, and on turn 4 was able to play Professor X in one lane, lock it down, and then Mystique in the other lane and lock it down, and then play like Ironheart to get some buffs over there. So some really crazy play lines. It's a super fun deck. Please try it, at least just for a few games. Get that super high roll. It is a lot of fun. Again, if you're climbing, if you're trying to climb, this is not the deck for that. But again, a lot of fun. I'm going to put a couple games right after this. So if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. And as usual, if you love all things Marvel Snap, make sure you like and subscribe, hit the bell. I'll see you in the next one. Okay. Bar Sinister. I wonder if we can do some crazy stuff in there. Beast. Let's play the Ravana. Ravana into Bar Sinister would make Professor X extremely cheap, but then it would be an issue. Ironheart into Bar Sinister is pretty good. We have the option of like Ironheart, Bar Sinister, and then beasting them all back. I don't know how good that is exactly. I don't think it's worth playing anything right now. We're just gonna hold off. Okay, so they play Magic. Maybe X Mansion will give us something good that we can just Professor X immediately over there. Maximus, not great. How I don't mind the Professor X into the Collector. I doubt he's running anything that can really buff Collector. And we do have Ironheart to buff these a little bit more. So let's just do that now. Miss Marvel does reach over there. So we do have Ironheart. Let's play negative here. Let's play the Ironheart here and play the negative. That way we can make sure we buff these two.
I am
Iron Man. Okay. Do we have any zero cost cards? We do have Iron Man. We do have Arnim Zola. So I do think it's worth drawing here. I like this. We might be able to do enough if we get the Iron Man in one of these next two draws. Okay. So we have Iron Man. Wow, this is gonna be tough, huh? How do we win? It's gotta be something like this. We can Zola here and hope to hit Ironheart. And then we'll go Iron Man Mystique this way. It's tough. Maybe we don't Zola. Zola's just a lot of power. Iron Man. Iron Man left. Mystique mid. We'll go Black Panther mid. And then just play the Psylocke here. I think so. I think that's probably the best play. Goes Hulk. 19 I don't think is enough for any of these lanes. Yeah.
Iron Man.
There's a double. Black Panther. Psylocke. This is fun. I love negative decks. They're not the best, like most consistent decks or anything like that, but they are a lot of fun. Okay. We have Ravana. That'll make the Iron Man and the Mystique cheap, so that's actually pretty decent hand here. Well, unless you are going to shuffle it back into your deck. So, not super decent. See what we draw, though. Ideally, of course, we can get the Mr. Negative. Maybe worth playing Ironheart now, just getting it out. Give us a higher chance of drawing negative. Yeah, I don't mind that. Go ahead and do that. Come on, negative. There it is. So I guess we'll play it into mid, and then we can save Baxter Building depending on what we draw. Gonna need some good draws here with this play line that he's taken. He's in pretty good shape. Jane Foster should get us something decent. Yeah, I think we're gonna go Jane Foster. Hopefully we can draw our Arnim Zola. It's either gonna be Zola, Iron Man. Iron Man's great too, or Null. Null is also really good. Any of these are gonna be pretty good draws. Honestly, Zola might be the worst draw. Well, no, we should be able to Wong Black Panther Zola, so that would be actually pretty good. This is about to be a crazy turn, and I don't know what the best way of doing this is. Okay. If we go, there's no Wong, so I guess destroying the null is probably the best bet, right? Destroy null, that'll go to the 2 other spots, and then we can go as big as we can here. Otherwise, man, this is a tough turn. I think we have to destroy the null. And then we just have to go as big as we can right and hit like a Black Panther left. This can't be the best play, but it's what we got. I'm not gonna snap. Oh, he left. Dang, that would have been crazy.